elderly people. This is actually your service center where elderly people gather during the day. And then we have also social organization for elderly person. This is actually your active aging and also residential home-based care. We also got a sub-program which deals with HIV and AIDS. This is more or less your support organizations. As I indicated earlier on, actually NPOs that we are funding. We also, lastly, we have social relief. We are known about this because we are actually providing food parcels for families who are actually distressed, and for those families who have suffered undue hardships, like if there is a disaster, we come in, we assess, and then perhaps maybe we see whether they qualify for us to be given assistance. We even went to an extent of providing furniture for those families who have happened to lose furniture in a disaster. And then moving forward on program, next, program 2, categories of MPs that we are actually funding. Next. We have residential facilities for disabled. These are actually your 24 care centers for people with disability. We got 5 number of NPOs that we are funding at a tune of 10.2 million across Nkangala district. And then we got also residence facilities for older person. These are actually your old age homes. So in Nkangala, we got 7 of them. And then we are funding them for 7.5 million. There you are. And we got the third one with Service Center for Elderly Person, which is the centers for older person with the ones that are actually been assisted. Yeah, we got 24 number of NPOs that we are funding at the tune of 3.1 million. And then we got Service Center for Frail and Care Services, NPOs, as a category. Around Nkangala, we got 4 of these ones. These are the home, this is actually a home care for people who are not strong, our elderly people. And then we actually have social workers who are actually getting to visit them and make sure that their well-being is taken care of. So this one, we have actually allocated 1.3 million for them. And then the other one is assisting living for elderly people. This is also a 24 service for NPOs. We got 4 NPOs that we're actually funding at the tune of 509,000. And then we also got social organization for elderly person. This is more or less your welfare organization where you get your social workers. We got 2 around Nkangala at the tune of 813,780 that we have actually dispatched in terms of monetary form. And then protective workshop, which is more or less daycare facilities for disabled people. We got 18 around Nkangala. We have funded them at the tune of 1.7 million. And then home base for protective workshop. These are disabled people being visited by social workers or caregivers. We got 4 around Nkangala, and then we have actually allocated an amount of 545,490,000. We also got social organization for people with disability. These are organizations with social welfare. And then we got only 2 around Nkangala. And then we have allocated an amount of 2.5 million. And then we got also what we call stimulation center, daycare for children with disability. We got 15 around Nkangala. These are actually NPOs that we are funding at a tune of 2.4 million. We got also home-based care for stimulation center. These are your home care centers. We only have one around Nkangala district, and then we have allocated an amount of 144,613. last one under program 2, social welfare, is AIDS, HIV and TB prevention care support organization. This is your SANCA, the ones that are dealing with substance abuse. We got 2 around the district, and then we have allocated an amount of 7.6 million. For program 2, we have actually allocated 38.8 million to NPOs around the district to assist the department. Now moving to program 3, which is children and families, we got also sub-programs around here. First one is dealing with child and youth care centers, and the other one is dealing with child protection services, and the other one is community-based prevention and early intervention services. This is your dropping center, for example. And then the other one is family program, which deals with preservation and reunification of families and providing preventing skills. And then under children protection services, these are more or less your statutory NPOs that are actually dealing with foster care, and then actually also protecting the children. So more or less, we are liaising in the main with the courts. And then under program 3, we got the categories of NP that we have funded is actually social service organization for children. These are NPOs that are protecting children. And then we got 11 of them around Nkangala. And then we have allocated an amount of 14.1 million. And then child and youth care center, which are children homes. We got 9 of them around Nkangala district, which we have allocated 26.7 million. And then social services organization for families, which are your organization with social workers. We got only 3 around Nkangala district. We have allocated 2.1 million. Community-based prevention and early intervention projects. These are your Resiha sites projects. We got 14 of them within the district, and then we have allocated 11.5 million. The last one under program 3 is drop-in center, which is more of a support center for children, where we provide, after they are from school, we provide meals for them, we assist them with homeworks and so on. And we got 19 of them around this Nkangala district, and then we have approved an amount of 9.3 million. The total amount that we have actually allocated for NPOs that are dealing with category, child and welfare, is actually 63.9 million. Moving forward, we got program. We got program 4. I'll try to be, because they are saying I'm very slow. We got program 4, but I want to give all this information so that when you question, you know what you are questioning. We got program 4, restorative services, which also got 3 sub-program, victim empowerment, which deals with shelter for victims, your domestic violence, and those happens to be raped and so on. And then we got crime prevention, which deals with crime programs and so on. We got substance abuse. This is our treatment centers that we have. And then in terms of categories around the district, we got victim empowerment project, which is your centers. We got 4 of them around Nkangala district at the tune of 4.6 million. And then we got crime prevention organization. This is your organizations with social workers. We got 4 of them, and then at the tune of 3 million. And then we got social organization for substance abuse. This is actually your Sanka. I know for a fact that one is actually situated in Witbank, and the other one is somewhere around Tembisile. And then we are actually funding 4.4 million. The total amount that we have allocated for this program is 12 million. And then moving to the last program, which is community development, We also have categories of NPOs that we're actually providing funds for. The first one is youth development. These are young people that are running NPOs, which help most of the unemployment youth with providing them with skills to write their CVs so that they could actually apply for employment. Around Nkangala, we got 26 of these NPOs, and then we have allocated 6.3 million for them. And then Community Nutrition Development Center, this is actually NPOs that are actually providing food on daily basis for those who are needy. I know for a fact we got one at Victor Kani, we got one at DS Mroka, we got the other one at Makazeni, and we got the other one at Tembisilani. All in all, there are 4, and then we have allocated an amount of 3.2 million. And then household initiatives, this is actually a program that encourages entrepreneurship. We actually get to buy machines for those women who are interested in sewing. For those young people who are interested on car wash, we buy them equipment and so on. So around Nkangala, we have assisted, this is part of job creation, we have assisted 93 beneficiaries at the tune of 1.5 million, and women development centers, which are focusing on women activities, lifestyles of women, and many things that they are actually doing. These are NPOs within our communities. We got only one around Nkangala. I was made to understand that this one is around Steve Chwet. And then we have allocated 405,890. The total amount that we have actually allocated for this program is 11.5 million, rather. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. We'll then call Department of Public Works, Road and Transport to come and present.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Executive Mayor, Honorable Chief Whip, Bundabe Zita, councillors, NDM officials, leaders and accounting officers from all the other municipalities. Good afternoon. My name is Edwin Baloy. I am the Director in the Design and Materials of the Public Works, Roads and Transport Department. Mine will be very quick. I had a slide that, some slides that I sent through, just to give a feel of what we are doing, or how do we stand, or where are we as a department in terms of planning, especially for this financial year 23-24. Honorable Speaker, it is just unfortunate that I won't be able to talk on many other projects that have been planned. The reason being that as we are seated here, our team, led by our HOD, Mr. Morolo, is having a meeting with the Honorable Premier to speak to most of the other projects that she still needs to ratify so that we can make pronouncement. So it's unfortunate that we can't pronounce before she pronounces. So the projects that I'm going to be talking about are mainly the projects that the Honorable Premier herself made speech and made pronouncements of. So without any further ado, I just want to quickly run through to our slide number 2, just to indicate the length of network that we are having as a department. In total, We are having 5.4 kilometers of roads which are unpaved, or rather which are paved, and then 8.3 kilometers of roads which are unpaved. So when you combine the two, the province has got in total 13.8 kilometers of roads, of which Garswande is taking the margin of that, the bigger margin of that. In 2005, paved road kilometers, and 4.9 unpaved kilometers. Now, speaking to what is relevant to this sitting, I would like to request that we move straight to slide number 7, which speaks of the projects that we want to share information with you today. The Honorable Premier has announced these main 3 projects. That is why we make mention of them today. These are all new projects. And what I want to re-emphasize, colleagues, is that the estimated budget, as you can see there, is what we allocate as a department. But when the engineers have done their due diligence, especially on the concept and viability stage, that is when now you're going to be seeing at least more or less how much the estimated budget is going to be, because the studies would have been done at that time. Now we've got 3 projects that are pronounced by the Premier around this district, which is the construction of the new railway bridge overhead on road P100. This is the road that links Emalahleni and Verena. For those that you know, there's a railway that is parallel to a road there. So at one point, commuters are, crossing over the railway. So there's a whole lot of traffic jam that we need to address there. So it is around Emalahleni, and the estimated budget, like I said, it's now sitting at 69.12 million. And the completion date and the rest, this will apply to all the other projects, will be confirmed once the designs have been done, and also when the constructor or the contractor has been appointed, because by that time at least we'll be sure of what we have appointed and in terms of the amount. We then have the upgrading of from gravel to surface of road D2902, which is between Sinotlelo and Ramkheletsani. This is in Dr. J.S. Moroka. The estimated budget is 8.4 million. And then we've got the upgrading from gravel to surface road of D2915. This is at Retaviseni, it's 9 kilometers. This one we are doing in-house, but we are estimating that when we appoint a contractor, it will be at an estimated amount of 90 million. These estimates are based on the rate per kilometer that we are using at the department. I think the rest of the other information is the same, and colleagues are welcome to ask questions when the time comes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will hand over back the power to the speaker in terms of questions and comment.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, let's all be attentive. Lunch is ready. I wanted us to run until 4 o'clock and eat at 4 o'clock. However, I've been warned or cautioned by the environmental health of Nkangala district that should I make that instruction, I must know that I'll be arrested myself, because the food is ready. And if you continue leaving it like that, then it changes to be something else that I don't know. So it becomes, okay. What I request that we do is that we take 15 minutes of clarity-seeking questions. And then we break for lunch, and then we'll come back. We will recognize hands. We'll give you a number, and then you will introduce yourself to us. That will be number 1. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, or 7. Number 7. Wena ungenzi njalo. Siphakemele sa. Awena soxabana. Number 8. And then the chief whip will be the last. In that order, please. Yeah, number 1. Smamelanin, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Chair of the session. Greetings to everyone present. I have 2 quick questions, and I fail to construct my questions so that they become more simpler. The manner on which I have put them, they might need a follow-up. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the follow-up. The first question is, why Public Works is not coming to our outreaches? I can start with the motivation, how important is the outreach and all those things, but I think they know it equally and more than me. We just want to get that straight answer. Why are they not coming to our outreaches out there to consult with society at large for the project and the challenges that our society has in the areas where we are operating equally with them? The second question is, how does different sector department interact with disputes from the society? This question is informed by the presentation. It might be touching a number of sector departments, but it is informed by the Department of Education's presentation when they deal with the issue of school for the deaf. As an example, they said we want to build a school there, and we can't continue. There are issues. Probably the narrative it will be to say the community there might be not settled with how things are done, employment and so on is a norm. But the leader of society in the current sphere is government and Magoshi. And we don't see department by Yako Magoshing for the presentation of their, or for the core relations in terms of implementing their project. Now, in the middle of the project, then they start to have problems. So I just wanted to understand their systematic way of how within their systems, how do they deal with that? Because I can touch also Siangova project. It is a project that private sector wanted to put a hand some 5 years or 7 years ago. And it was disturbed by society where we are standing now. And I'm just hinting the Department of Education as an example. We have about 2,000 kids in Siangova that are ferried by buses from point A to where they study. And it is a danger, a lot of expenses, unreliable transport and so on and so on. But the key issue here is that there was a dispute between society and the department on how the project or how things unfold. So we just wanted to assist each other there so that we clear that thing in the near future. We don't have that. I don't want to go deeper and stand between lunch and your people, Speaker. Thank you.
The council whip, the mayors, speakers, chief whips, MMCs from different municipalities, and the administration in general that are present here, which includes the department. Chair one, thank you very much for affording this opportunity. I'm the speaker of Tembisile Hani Local Municipality. and my responsibility is clear. So I just want to get into the first report, which is human settlement. As we will welcome all the reports, of course, Chair, because it's been a culture. Although where I'm seated, I'm not even comfortable because we're supposed not even to engage those reports as local municipalities, simply because those reports were supposed to be presented at our local level. But yet, all the departments that's presented, that are present here, and those who are absent, they are not attending our briefing. Then, let alone bring in business and outreach, if I may put it. So I just want to register, Chair, in this meeting that as municipalities, we feel disrespected by this department. And my plea is that they must stop it. The people that they are servicing are residing in local municipalities. And they're supposed to start at the local level, present their report as municipalities, interrogate those reports and able to correct it before even reach the Nkangala district. So we believe that is something that it must not repeat it. That is why you will have amongst Ngiloshisa Bondabezita Nyakolisa Bondabezita. That is why you will find other stakeholders like Bondabezita. They will always cry not have an opportunity yokuthi ba-interrogate or bathole ama-report from the departments. Because we are unable as a municipality ourselves to access them. So let alone masses figure because in bed. And we are not going to accept that. It must be recorded as such. If that repeatedly, we are going to excuse all the municipalities. They must excuse all the municipalities as a visitor before Bezala if they want to report direct to the district. The second one, in terms of the human settlement, we acknowledge, but I want to register maybe to say if they've got a plan, they've got incomplete houses. At Mbisile, we've got 2018, 2019 houses with the very same Zembelan. But we've seen them continuously saying that the remaining 69 houses Zembelan will continue. How come? Umuntu ehlule ukuqeda izindlu zabantu bethu bahlupheka as we speak balala ezindlini ezigirikile zehlabathi while there's a house incomplete for about 4 years, 3 years. Why are we doing this to our municipality? And as representatives of those local people, we are not going to sit here and clap hands on something that failed our people. We want to hear from the Department of Human Settlement as to when are those houses basiqedelela nini, angibeke kuhle, basiqedelela nini, and the budget that they are reflecting, especially in Tembisile. Is it the budget yokuqedelela izindlu or is a new budget? Because there's an element of presenting the budget and say this is amount that we are going to build 10 units, and that 10 units is shared and as it doesn't pay. Honorable Chair, I'm so sorry, but we're so disappointed as we welcome the 100 unit, but it must be clear in terms of budgeting. Well, in terms of the Department of Education, we welcome the new schools that are going to build, but also having clarity to say maybe they should have looked at other schools that are overcrowded as we speak, to say what is the plan for those schools. Are they going to extend those classes, or they will continuously use temporary classes? What is their plan for future? And also, what is their plan for the schools? For instance, in Shomani, there's a school that is Shomani. When it's raining, amanzi wonke angena ngaphakathi kwama-class avela direct indlela isikolo lesasakhiwa ngakhona asijabulisi Honorable Chair. So maybe we must hear from them, because it's something that Tembisile municipality schools are always crying. So we have been having most of their budgeting speaking with those in terms of maintain those schools. Lezezinye will welcome them. We'll clamp hands where is due, but when it's not, unfortunately, we're not going to do that. Chair, the last one is the issue of social development. Here we welcome, of course, the report, but we want to emphasize that as a former MMC, it means now is almost 4 years. The Tembisile residents, especially in Pumula areas, requested that they are unable to access social development. And we then wrote to the social development and also make commitment ukuthi they will at least build social development around Miliva so that will service Itwefontein areas which are Pumula areas. Remember, when we make commitment, we said these facilities must be accessible. So Mausuge Twefontein is either we are Gamshanga or we are and the Twefontein areas is big. So we're requesting that maybe in their next financial, or even if they do have a adjustment budget, just deal with those numbers so that it can reflect, so that you can plan negatively. Last year, Chair, as I close, I want to take this opportunity and thank your nice social development in making sure that, of course, at Tembisile, we've seen in the 2021-2022 financial year that they are benefiting in terms of youth development and women, ulama NPOs. But we're still requesting that maybe because of our people are crying, maybe they should have looked around all the department and check, can they utilize those schools satellite so that our people can be able to access their services. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chogozan Duma, chairperson of Royal Forum, which is a youth empowerment organization, and also a managing director of Tilwande Trading. My question is straight up about Department of Education. So I want the budget, it's focused more on infrastructure. But as a young person has is interested about arts and sport. Because check at the sports facilities was election compared to our Setropin, our fan at all. Now we election, I'm a ground at Luchani. Nan, we have on a basis as booze with Tavantabasha, Mavakala, Mama drugs, Nan, Koswa Indo, Ekbin day of no direction. So, as a request, Bestella, which I'm a sports facilities way to you are looking is a final hours, West Colors as a Setropin. They say it's true, it's being a phone and a cool gear because it's a costing king his name, a year feeding scheme, but they Kulumang a dingy with the style of food, when it's a killing rehab, say I farm drugs. And as with the corner, maybe within the 6 municipalities rehab now, but now is Steve Chua, I'm a drugs as I said. Please assist Anabantabasha, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Greetings to you, Mzomba. Thanks for the opportunity. Greetings to the Executive Mayor. Greetings to the Group of Council. Greetings to Abunda Visita. All protocol observed. Well, Okurumayo Councillor Tapi Vincent Mukwala. Yeah, well, firstly, let me take this opportunity and welcome the presentations and appreciate. And in particular, well, be happy that finally, we always had reports from human settlement, but there was not a warm body there. So I'm happy that finally today we can see how the people of human settlement look like. We are grateful. However, I want to also emphasize the fact that it's very disappointing that they were given a template which will give us more information. Particularly, and as the initial presentation by manager Babu Mangani has given us the stats in terms of unemployment. So now that they've presented, but they've failed to give us a picture, how much what they're doing is impacting on the society is of a concern, because I would have appreciated that today they empower us with also the magnitude of what they are doing in terms of how it impacts our society, how much people are getting employment with the interventions that they are making. I'll also want to pose a question to them, because yes, I understand, I mean, they are giving us the challenges about they're having a problem with state land release, they're having a problem with land claims, they're having a problem with land divisions. But I'm actually a little bit disappointed that it seems there's no plan, because we should know when that is a problem, but what is going to be the solution? How are they going to interdict this so that going forward, these matters can be addressed? Well, I also would like to appreciate Public Works, but in the current IDPs, they've been present, although there was a request that even a consistency. I think if the person who was coming was not going to tell us about only 3 things, there's more that Public Works have given us. Maybe Baubaloy did not consult with his colleague. There's much that have been given by Public Works. In fact, what he's telling us now, the representative who was there has already told us. So Public Works, we appreciate. I hope they continue when we go to other municipalities. Lastly, of course, I must ululate and celebrate and be grateful that the road to Sinotlelo, from Sinotlelo to Ramkheletsane, something is going to happen there. We are grateful as Dr. Jess Moroka, because it's a road that will expose our people to connect so that they improve their lives. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Siyibulise under the banner of protocol. Igama lami uDumisano Akamahlangu from Tembisilehani. Chair, I just want to take from where Councillor 1s and 2s has left off. Matter Yasemurok, that particular road, maybe Public Works, I'm not aware or not sure if you are aware, TLP as a TMBC, that you have actually misled the Honourable Premier. And this matter has found expression in the commitments which have been made in TMBC. The Honourable Premier spoke of this particular road as a Snotlelo. And it's not like access to TMBC, Gusamorok. Maybe it's in your radar to perhaps make those corrections, because this very same government will be held accountable by the people for the commitments which have been made. So it's in moving to the second matter. I noted on the presentation, Chair of the Public Works, there is a matter, a road which says 9 kilometers from D something to Ritabisin. Let's also make that relevant correction. You wanted to say Zitabisin, because now it will create a perception that we are dealing with the R568, which passes Nkangala on your way to Nkangala. Those are the 2 submissions. Chair, thank you very much, Chair.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to yourself, the Executive Mayor, the Chief Whip, and all protocol being observed. Let me start by saying this. If I were you, Honorable Speaker, I would have not given a chance to the Public Works to come and play a game of Mickey Mouse with all councillors or all municipalities here. It is really disappointing that the Public Works doesn't show up anywhere. You can even see from the report of 2 seconds there. To say these people, they don't have anything to bring to us. And in fact, I think the first and the second speakers, they've accommodated me, particularly on the issue of the Public Works. But we cannot allow people taking chances because of his Indaba. They just want to come and listen what are Indabas here. So next time, if they are not going to attend to the local municipality, let them not bother to come here putting or dressing in their nice suit as if they are coming to a show or a fishing parade. We are disappointed, Honorable Speaker, and I'm sorry, I'm not you. But if I were you, the Public Works, I was going to release them to go home and package proper reports and start doing things accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. No, ngiyathokoza usesihlalweni. Manje sengisikime net ukuthi ngilotshise ngokuhlonipha ubuholi bobo bukhona. Ngenxa yesikhathi ngingabali ngamunye ngithi nqanga nensiba zayo. That is Xhosa for all protocol observed. Then, and also to thank and appreciate all who are dressed in black. Remember, since we met, we spoke about dressing in black on a Thursday. Thursdays in black, initiated by World Vision towards a South Africa or a world that is less of gender-based violence. Thank you very much. Angazi ngibuyele phansi noma ngirage phambili sengisikimile njalo. All right. I've been in and out, so I apologize, but isibambe ngokhunye ukuba ama participant kwamasipala. So if I have missed anything that speaks to Kajiba, la ngisuka khona la kunombuso sitshaba wakwanzuza phungushe, then I will be assisted. If it was not mentioned, I will say once again ukuthi nabe sihlezi ku lekgotla sasho sathi siyabawa bonyana when you cut the cake, when you distribute the funds, projects and everything, can it please be done ngendlela yokuthi sibone ukuthi sisonke siyazuza, kungazuzi laba kuphela laba bangazuzi. You cannot take all projects or a major project to Nukaning ungafaki project ekachibani ngoba nizosilwisa, like what is happening now. So once again, I will request ukuthi imali nayingenako nakunamahlelo yani nala ningafiki khona. I have here a photo of former Mayor Umadileng Honorable Madileng, and Prince Pesimahlangu, who is my brother, together with former MEC we Public Works. Ngomunye unyaka angisakhumbula unyaka bani basekhaya bazosazisa njengomtshado ukuthi i-road D935 which runs from Nkangala ifike idlule eKatsibane, the full road 17 kilometers iyofika eLimpopo. It's in a seriously bad condition. I'd like to think ukuthi UMM will know of the condition at this present moment. It was declared ukuthi 110 million has been set aside ukufaka iskontiri. And to the gentleman who was here, the Public Works, I'm not speaking to a presidential stimulus package. Here 1.5 kilometers of paving. Ayigalwa ikosi yalo community yonke laba bebayivuma is because they had vested interest. Ningasvala amahlo nge-pavement ye-1.5 kilometers at the cost of 17.5 million. Do your math and you will see what it is. Illegally dogs lebe ikhulunywa emvala, but that's what it is. While it's not really rejoicing ukuthi bazohlanganiswa neRamkheletsana nge-tar road ye-8.4, we are still waiting for our tar road, asphalt as you call it, Kilababane 2 times 1. That runs from Nkangala to Kachibane, like Kachibane. We are the vanguard of this beautiful province to Limpopo. So, but the question is, how do you get to prioritize Indlela over Kachibane that you abandoned? Do you want us to litigate? So the question is, prioritization, this cutting of the cake, because as in Indaba, they already have this development and this infrastructure. That was the major one, Chair. So it is please revisit road, please write it down, road D935, commonly known as IJ Road. It was named after Ubabu IJ Mahla. Ikachibane was bought collectively in 1922. The deputy chairperson of the African National Congress in the province, Nabesigu, taking legislature to the people at TBC, they spoke to the chairperson of the province, African National Congress, who is the MEC in Public Works, Indaba. And today I come and sit here and represent Kachibane and observe and listen to what you have just presented now. It's very painful. But that being said, in one forum where we meet, sathi nasikhuluma sivalelisana siya ku-festive good. Sathi sizothandazisa i-leadership. Honorable Taylor Bokhwadi, you are here. You know we did pray for this leadership as Saint Engenas Zion Christian Church members. And we prayed for the leadership very strongly. And what was raised sharply by His Grace, Bishop, in the presence of the President of the country, was the rate at which Abandona Betu are taking drugs. I don't know if it's a prophecy or not. I'm saying profita against Abu Kalaba Almighty. But I would like to believe what was said by His grace. Let us help our kids. But for 6 months, bahlale bangadli izinto ebazidlako lezi. Uthi after 6 months uyabathembisa abantwana bethu. And ukuthi nasikhuluma nabo nabangasizwa sisho sithi uBishop uthi. And the premier was also there. Uthi uyathembisa ukuthi abazohlala bathola uncedo 6 months bangadli into ezikhuba zabo lezi 6 months bazothola umsebenzi. So can we please somehow prioritize into yokupholisa abantwana bethu labo? Sibe nehlelo. So that this prophecy can come through. If it is a prophecy. Nike bese ikulumo esakhayo asakhekile. Abantwana bethu bazwela ubuhlungu ngoba banengi bona. Sengiyisonga nje. Kunenkulumo ethe Dr. J.S. Moroka, the population is decreasing. Abantwana sihlalo siza nabo thick and fast, planned kuhle nje. So i-population ngabantwana iyakhula. Senet abantu abadala bayakhamba yabona ngoba Dr. J.S. Moroka kunendlala. That is why population is decreasing according to what was presented. Indlala. Dr. J.S. Moroka. Can we please find a way to go and say to the Honorable Premier and her cabinet? Kunama agri-hub that was started I3 initially. 2 are functional. Here Dr. J.S. Moroka or Nkangala is Dr. J.S. Moroka is non-functional. Now there is a program to supply food to 6 Yama boarding school. To supply chickens, 20,000 chickens a month. And then there must be feed that must be supplied to those chickens. There is a gentleman, who's got a mill, but he is saying he is short of maize. And yet the state is taking its time to release a beautiful pocket of land known as Goed Alles, where we can farm. So let me say now, I am a farmer. Farming right now is sunflower on state land without the permission because here's some land. But we are working towards food security, employment. So when the state decides to release that land, can they please do that? Because on the 27th of September 2022, the then Deputy President Obabu Didi Mabuza made a commitment that there's going to be land acquisition. Now, of course, there is going to be land acquisition, and that land acquisition includes Goed Alles. I thank you.
The prince from Bakatlaba Mochava Maloka greets all under this roof, and also thanks the municipality for extending an invitation to traditional leaders. I'm going to be short, Comrade Speaker. There is a need for us to be creative and aggressive in our fight against youth unemployment and an inactive youth in our communities, especially the rural communities. Now, I want to invite you to appreciate the view that, and it's not one, rather it's one that was also shared by a brother, or rather a leader at the back, in that an inactive youth contributes to the rise in youth unemployment because some fall into the trap of substance abuse and teenage pregnancy, and thus a rise in the youth unemployment. Now, the same commitment shown by the municipality in building community halls, which, by the way, do not serve any purpose to the youth in our rural communities because it is used for
gatherings when there's a funeral and when there's a meeting called by the council. That same energy ought to be seen too in building sporting facilities. Give young people facilities. And these rather facilities which address their need. Now this will also fight unemployment. Young people do not only want to be in agriculture, in business, in internships, and so forth. They want to be professional footballers and netballers. They want to be professional athletes. We can't have our children only seeing proper running tracks when they come to this district. Here, this place is here, this side. I attended a school in my village, primary, in Popolo Primary School. The very same field that I ran on, it's the same one that is used today. I engaged with Kosi Hadi, in the beginning of the year when they had athletes, and they were taking kids to, to participate. And she was worried in that many of them got disqualified because they are not used to proper running tracks. We can't today, especially black people, still be running on soily fields. Let's address that. Our people are going to be extremely happy, I tell you. Now, the last point is, let us give our people quality. A school and a road of the late president of the Botswana cannot be better than that of the democratic government, which was built 5 years ago. We have Ratahana High School, which the former Vice Chancellor of the UCT attended. It has not changed. It's the same building. Come to Bankop and see the community hall which you gave us there. It's collapsing. One day we are going to experience an issue in there. So give us quality. Why is it that we still praise Mangob today? What is it that he was doing that which we are not doing? We need to have those questions because we are wasting money here. Now, as a closing remark, we too as traditional leaders need to take an active role in addressing such issues. But today we were called to speak to this plan. In future, we must be called to also be asked, how is it that we are going to contribute to such things? Because we can't come here and then criticize leaders up there, while we too bear the responsibility to address issues of our people. The Prince concludes. Thank you. One, two. Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and also greetings to the Honorable Executive Mayor of Nkangala District Municipality, Mamabuza, the Honorable Council Whip, Wasi Nkangala, Ubaba, Ubushomane, and also greet Amakosi who are present here and then all protocol observed. Honorable Speaker, for your information, after the treatment that I've observed here, I had already issued an instruction to the MM to switch off your house. So you are in trouble, unfortunately. It has already happened. Well, Honorable Speaker, let me join other speakers in welcoming all the reports. My interest is only on 3 departments, which will be the Department of Human Settlement, the Department of Education, and the Department of Roads and Transport.
with regard to the Department of Human Settlement, Honorable Speaker, well, we are observing, Honorable Speaker, that it will appear that it is still a long road in terms of the integrated development, integrated planning. We are not yet closer towards the integrated planning approach. Unless there is a will, this will not be realized, Honorable Speaker. And more so, we've got a new concept of DDM. And I can also observe, sitting here, that we are still far away from meeting the object of the DDM. In the main, DDM is about integrated planning in terms of human resource, in terms of resources, as well as ideas. But here, we are still seeing various departments planning in silos and coming here to tell us what they have planned, and which is sometimes far from the reality on the ground. Integrated planning means we must come closer to the reality on the ground. So I'm making an appeal, Honorable Speaker, to say that let's come closer to these concepts of planning, so that then we can be able to avoid some of the duplications which we are observing here. With regard to the Department of Human Settlement, I think we welcome the report, and we are very much excited as a Makazini local municipality that the call that we've been making 5 years ago, it is now becoming a reality. It has become now a reality through the intervention of the Honorable Premier. It is only now that we've been allocated the IDP houses after a long road of fight with the department. But, Honorable Speaker, my concern is with regard to the project which was started by the department in 2011 of building the IDP houses in Siatutuga Extension 7. My expectation here today was that the department will talk about that project, because it cannot be correct that a project will be started in 2011 until in 2023 the project is not complete. What do we say to the people? The department has only built 41 houses. Now, what do you tell the people? Are we failing as government? If we're failing, let's go and tell them the reasons why we are failing. Because we can't keep people hanging. They are expecting their 240 units. And I did not hear anything from the department. And that matter is a thorny matter, Honorable Speaker. It must be attended as urgent as possible. It is not the fault of the people that the department appointed incapable contractors. That project failed because of the conduct of the Department of Human Settlement of appointing contractors without capacity. And therefore, we can't say people must suffer because of your own failures. The department must correct their own house and give people what they deserve. Because if we don't do so, people are going to embarrass us, and they are at a point where they want to go to court and take the department to court for failing to live up to the constitutional provisions of the Constitution of South Africa. And we've been protecting them and defending the department, but we are at a point where we are saying that we can't defend that matter any longer. So we're going to allow them to exercise their constitutional rights as the people, because it has taken too long, Honorable Speaker. Then the other matter, Honorable Speaker, which we want to raise under the department is the whole question of the criteria that I think we need to agree on the criteria that must be followed for the department to build the houses. Previously, as a district, we agreed that all municipalities in the region, they must service the land, and then the department will come with the top structures. That was the agreement. And we agreed to say that once a municipality can demonstrate that it has serviced the land, it must become easy for the department to come up with the top structures. So I want us to affirm that position to say where there is an indication or where there is a proof that stands have been serviced, the department must not hesitate to come to the board and assist in the building of those top structures. Yesterday, in my conversation with the HOD, acting HOD of the department chair, Honorable Speaker, she mentioned something very, very, very astonishing. She said to me, the NHRBC is saying if there are no roads and storm water, the department will not build houses. I call Honorable Speaker. Show me any land in South Africa where there is water, there is sanitation, and there is a road and storm water. There's none. Now, why are we bringing barriers for our people to receive services? For me, it is sufficient to say when there is water and sanitation, the department must build. So it's another matter that you need to fight, Executive Mayor, to say the condition by the NHRBC must be rejected because it is neither here nor there. People are just sitting in the office developing barriers which will make it very difficult for our people to get houses. So we are rejecting that condition by the NHRBC. It is not reasonable, Honorable Speaker. Because we are going to provoke people if we are not careful by introducing counter-revolutionary conditions, Honorable Speaker. The other matter, Honorable Speaker, we want to make an appeal again to all the departments, not only the Department of Human Settlement. The provincial government in the province has approved what we call enterprise supplier development model, which means that when the Department of Human Settlement is going to construct houses in Emakazeni, our expectation is that there must be manufacturing. We must stimulate manufacturing of all the material which is required to construct a house. It's a cabinet decision. Now, I want to re-emphasize that we must not parachute bricks from far as Nelspruit, but we must ensure that we produce bricks local. We produce doors, frames, windows from local, so that we are able to stimulate industrial development. That's how we are going to create job opportunities and SMME development. And in this regard, Honorable Speaker, I want to make a firm proposal to say that let's implement that model, which is called Enterprise Supply Development, as approved by the Cabinet of Mpumalanga Province. Then the other matter, Honorable Speaker, is on page 20 of the department, report by the department. On page 20, number 8, under the project description, it is written construction of 240 low-cost houses. And in brackets, they are saying it's a new contractor. But then they are saying for 2023-2024, they are planning for 300. So there's a contradiction there, Honorable Speaker. The 240 lower houses are the houses for Extension 7 in Siatutuga, not the 300 new units. The 300 new units are new altogether. And therefore, we cannot say a project description is 240 low-cost houses. It must be a construction of 300 low-cost houses. So I want them to correct that, because it is a cut and paste. And later is going to mislead the reports and all of us. We will be expecting 300, and they will say, no, here is a 240 in terms of the project description. So that must be corrected, Honorable Speaker, so that we are on the same page, all of us, Honorable Speaker. Now, coming to the Department of Education, we are happy that Ebudlen Primary School has been prioritized, even there is no budget there, but we want to plead with the department to say that matter is so urgent, because that school is at the brink of collapse. One day you'll wake up in the morning and find that the school has collapsed with the children, and that will be a disaster. So that matter is a matter of urgency. It must be treated with urgency. But on the other hand, Honorable Speaker, there are children from Madala, Ward 8, in your ward, who are traveling 8 kilometers from Madala to Kyalami. Now, what is going to happen during winter with those learners? What is going to happen with those learners during winter? Because Emakazeni is extremely cold, and those children are more than 100. Now, and this talk to the point that the department, when it plans, it does not take into account the new established township or the population growth. We are still moving on this old pattern of development. Now, if there was an integrated planning, we would have raised this matter with the department to say there is a need that we need to ensure that we accommodate those learners in one way or the other. And this also brings to the question to say, in Seatutuga, we've got only one high school. And that township has grown 4 times. From 1995 until today, it has grown 4 times. And all the classes are overcrowded. When are we going to get a new high school in Seatutuga? Because there is a population growth there. Learners have increased. The ratio of 1 educator is equals to 35 learners is being breached by the department in that particular regard. And therefore, we're still saying the department must come and plan together with us so that we are able to point some of the challenges which are existing on the ground. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, with the Department of Public Works, while we agree with them and welcome the capital project, the 2 new capital projects, but also the department has got the responsibility to refurbish all damaged roads. It is common cause, Honorable Speaker, that the heavy rains have damaged all our roads, including the provincial roads, the district roads, the municipal roads. All the roads are now damaged. A case in point here, Honorable Speaker, is a road which is from Belfast town to Stoffberg. That road is no longer drivable. It has been damaged by the heavy truck which are transporting chrome from Steelport to Richards Bay. And they've also damaged the internal roads in town. What is the department doing? Because the municipality is not getting any money from the payment of the licenses by those trucks. But yet they are damaging our road. So we are making a call to say that the department must consider that road because it is very bad. The information that I've got is that those trucks used to via Lettenberg, and they damage all the roads in Lettenberg. They are now finished. They are coming to our side. Can I tell you, Honorable Speaker, what is going to happen? The community of Emakazeni is going to block all those trucks. The department will have to see to find an alternative road if this matter is not being attended to. The community has approached us. We said, no, wait, we are going to the meeting. We will relate the message to the department. If the department does not come to the party, we are going to do exactly as what Mashishing people did. They chased them away. They're coming to Emakazeni. We are going to chase them away. They will go to Steve Jwete as they go to Richards Bay. It can't be. We can't accept this thing. It's totally unacceptable. The responsible department must take responsibility and make sure that they fix the road. And it can't be left on the municipality alone because we are not benefiting from these heavy-duty trucks. It is the Department of Public Works that is benefiting through renewal of licenses and so forth, Honorable Speaker. And then also want to request then, as a solution, Honorable Speaker, to say that the Department of Public Works must assist the municipality to establish a way bridge, a way bridge between Belfast, the town, and Stoffberg, so that we can be able to build those tracks. That is the solution that we are giving. If they don't, then we are going to close them out. Thanks, Speaker.
Yeah, no, thanks, Honourable Speaker. Greetings once more. Well, we welcome the reports. Let me join my colleagues. Yeah. Yeah, probably they're not aware that I also have a certain amount of power speaking. But they know your power. Well, the issue of human settlement, I think it is just unfortunate that while we were receiving their reports, they did not attend all the outreaches, 4 of them. But the issue of Siangoba is a matter that I think needs to be paid attention to. We've built a lot of houses there, but the sewer system is not working. To be direct, there's no plant, a functional plant that deals with the sewer system. So people are in big trouble. And it's a matter that I think you must prioritize it because it has got health implications. And we were told, nicely in a meeting, we were told, deal with the issue of Siangoba. There's a problem there. So we're raising it here so that it be prioritized and attended to. We can't condone it any further. Well, there's also, I can see, Honourable Speaker, well, probably it's because you are processing projects that are still coming, 23, 24. Because we are also interested, in the projects that you actually had implemented and the impact that they have made. But I can see where you're supposed to speak of subcontractors employment, you're saying not available, still to be not applicable and so on. Probably because these projects are still coming. But we are interested to know who will be the subcontractors and how many people you shall employ. I think that is a matter for us. The issue of incomplete houses, as the Executive Mayor Makazeni has said, in Ward 4 in Victorkal, you've got 5 long outstanding for years houses that are incomplete with all the reasons that are attached. And you've got many households there who are still saying, I need a house. I need an RTP house. So as far as we are concerned, those people cannot suffer in vain. It's a matter that I think as you sit and look into how you deal with the issue of housing, that matter must find expression and must be part of your agenda. How do we deal with those issues? And they are urgent. Because now we are aware. I don't want to go into the reasons why that situation is persisting. But it needs to be addressed. It must be addressed. So, yeah, I think those are the issues that I'm picking up. In terms of the Department of Education, no, I want to agree with the Executive Mayor. This primary school, we were actually, what is the word, Speaker? We were detained there for the whole day as the district when we went with an outreach for the whole day, from in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because of issues including the primary school and the high school as well. We couldn't say anything. People were just throwing things at us for that period of time, and we couldn't even respond. So some of these things, as we raise them, let them be taken serious and let the response be urgent as well. The issue of DSD, no, DSD is doing well, colleagues. We must congratulate you. You must congratulate you, Dr. Ramajana, for the work that you are doing. You are very thorough and you are very hands-on, and you know what is happening in your department. All that we would want to see happening is that we must meet these people that are benefiting from DSD. We must meet them, we must know them. We must also know how are they handling the finances and who is actually, because there's employment as well there. There's people who are working in those NPOs. So we need to understand who are these people, how many are they? Including those that were funded. I can see, I'm not so sure whether it's here for crime, for fighting crime in Emalahlen. There are people who are funded in Emalahlen for fighting crime. We want to know how are they doing that. So I think that is a matter we shall pursue later, but no, we are pleased. I think the concerns that have been raised, we share those concerns of access and so that we're able to be closer to our people. I think the tragedy of not attending the outreach, you now see it with the Department of Public Works on what is happening today. And don't take it in bad light. It's the frustration that is ensuing. And in an effort to try and sort out the challenges of this unemployment, inequality, poverty issues that we're dealing with. That is the challenge that we're concerned with. And unfortunately, we're going to continue along this line of the carrot and stick approach. Because you see, there's a person that was coming, that was attending Honorable Bokwat. His name is Obringaki. No, Obringaki. He attended. He was in Tembisile with us. He was in Emalahlen. He was in Steve Chwet. Dr. Mtweni is attending even on Sundays, including this film. But there are still those that are telling us that, no, I can't attend on Sunday. It's Saturday and Sunday. Hey, Bagit. There's a dark cloud hanging above our heads. And somebody says, I can't come on Saturday or on Sunday. And this outreach is twice. It's only twice. It's now we are going to have it next year, in September. Only twice. To give community information. Now, let me tell you what Nkangala said, because we take this information. He said they are going to construct, there's a Kane Bridge in Tembisile for the year 23-24. It's not there. He said they are going to do resealing of the road from Nkangala to Kwamhlanga for 22 million. It's not there. He said they are going to pave all the paving of municipal roads for 52.9 million for the entire district. It's not there. D567 at Mulod for 6 million. Stormwater, 2.2 million at Mulod. Hambok, 6.7 million. Siatentela, 17 million. 800 people for Dr. Mroka and 800 for Tembisile. It's not there. We know that there's a project that is a huge project of more than 300 million somewhere here in I think Henrina. That project, the contractor is from Dundee in KZN. There's another one of 110 million in Nkangala. The contractor is from eThekwini. We want to stop those things. And that is why we want this information. So that we can stop these things. And you know, the perception is that as long as you don't want to come forward with this information, it is because you know what you are doing. That is why you shall come at an IDP in Indaba. You know why all these departments are here today? Because if you don't come here today, there's going to be a finding against you as department. But come to an outreach, you are not there. Come to an Indaba, you come because you must also say, I passed my budget in Nkangala district. So all the departments are here. These departments are very difficult to reach, very difficult. But today, they've been accessible, confirmed. You need to help us, colleagues, because it's not about me, it's not about you as a person. It's about the community that we must service. But this is the calamity that I'm seeing in the case of you are just a typical example of the problem that we are fighting every day. Every day. So, Honour Speaker, I think as colleagues have said, some of these reports were just allowing them to go on, but something needs to happen. Later, something needs to happen. Because if we continue like this, that cloud shall turn into a bad weather. And who are we going to blame? So I think let's pause. And these colleagues were referring to all departments without exception. Those that are attending and doing the work were congratulating you and were proud of you and were protecting you. That's why we're speaking the way we're speaking. If you are attending. And I can call the last meeting we had 7 departments, and I can tell you which departments are those. Sports was there, human settlement, there was a report, public works was there, DSD was there, agriculture was there. I can name the departments because we're with them. But the rest, you are here to pass the budget, and it's a heist. What about heist? I pass up. Now, one again next in Indaba. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Tate Mache, you heard that the doctor even attends on weekends. Yeah, you are hard at work. Public Works, I will not want you to respond. My fear is that you might disrupt my meeting. So I don't want you to respond. What I request that we do, the municipal manager in Nkangala district is this lady here. Her name is Margaret Scosa. I request that as we are taking a break, you come and meet with her. This is what I want you to do, is to agree as to when are you meeting between tomorrow and the 27th of this month. So that those issues that you said, your leadership or management is locked in a meeting with the Premier, they are attending to them, so that they are given to us, so that we can be able to handle those issues, because very soon we'll pass this budget, and very soon the executive mayor will have what we call state of the district address. So they should be covered. That's what I request from you. For all of us, I thought it will take us 15 minutes. It took us an hour. I request that let's try to spend only 30 minutes, and then we come back here. We've got 6 departments that are yet to present. So please, let's go enjoy lunch for 30 minutes and then come back.